Yeah, so thanks for joining us. The goal today is to just give you a look at some of what's new in the Trophy app. We are certainly keeping ourselves pretty busy. We're working on some exciting new features. One in particular we're going to focus on today, and that's the new training packs. We, for a long time, have had different Rocket League training packs in the app. We've recently gone in and sort of tinkered with the formula of how we present those training packs and what you actually do when you get into one. So, yeah, let's jump into it. I'm going to fire up the Trophy app. In order to launch a Rocket League training pack, you can find them in one of two places. Of course, we have our training paths, which are your sort of guided, organized skill trees, essentially, that take you through. You can also find them all within this skill list. For today, we'll look at the training path view. A lot of the training packs that we have can be found in this section here, and that's dribbles and shots. So if you look here, I have a lot of these completed. There's still a few that I haven't done. I haven't done off-wall shots. But you'll see here under these nodes, there's a little label called training pack. And these are different than our AI coaching mechanic lessons, which I showed you in a previous one. In the AI coaching lessons, of course, you have your real-time feedback. You have someone who's in your ear telling you exactly what went wrong or what went right and what you can do to adjust to do a mechanic a little bit better, which is a great way to learn. You kind of break the mechanic down into steps. But with these training packs, we really wanted to take something that is very familiar to Rocket League players. Everybody who has played Rocket League likely has gone in and loaded up the in-game training packs. Of course, Rocket League has their own very basic ones, but then you have a whole host of creators. There's some very well-known names that make a lot of really good, like warm-up packs, shot packs, defensive stuff. We've all gone in here, but one pain point that we've always hit when we get into these training packs is that you have very little context about what you're actually trying to do. So let's say you're doing wall shots as an example. You'd load up the wall shots pack and you see a ball rolling up the wall, but there's actually nothing in game to really tell you, okay, how fast should I be going up the wall? How high should I be trying to hit it? At what angle am I trying to hit it? Should I jump off the wall? Should I flip? If I should flip, when should I flip? So we really wanted to try to do what we sort of think of as like a training pack plus and add a lot more features in that can really help you get a lot more context of what you need to know. One thing that most training packs will have traditionally is that the creators of the pack, well, typically you'll go find them on YouTube, right? I think everyone's probably pretty familiar with this. You load up a training pack, you're like, okay, cool. What am I supposed to do in order to actually succeed here? You go to that creator's YouTube channel, and then they have a bit of a video guide on how they would go about doing each shot. That's great. It's all well and good, but it's a bit of a disconnected system. So especially if you're playing your full screen, how are you going to get out of the game? Are you going to alt tab to go back and reference that video? And, you're jumping back and forth. You're kind of context switching like that. We wanted to include all of that info about how you do it and kind of challenge you to do it correctly and give you that feedback on whether you're doing it correctly in the pack. So let's load up wall shots and I'll show you exactly what we mean. So previous to this update that we launched last week, we did have these packs, but there's a couple of additions that we've made that are some pretty big feature upgrades, we feel. So you'd always have the shots. Let's say in this one, I believe it's 8 shots in the wall shots training pack. Okay, Twitch overlay really wants to get in the way here. Okay, no, please go away. So in the wall shots training pack, you had 8 shots. They were presented to you in a fashion that you'd still go about doing the shot, but you'd have to ask the AI coach. So we have Mansell, our AI coach. We'll talk now.
As closely as possible to the pro demo. Press P on your keyboard to watch how a pro does it, and aim to get at least 80% similarity to pass each shot. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, everybody heard our AI coach Mansell jump in there and give a bit of quick context. Let's break down what's new here in the training pack since last week update, and it's a lot. So right off the bat, you'll see a couple of things on screen happening. You'll see this sort of flashing white line that's showing you this path up the wall. You'll also see these boxes, and the first one is highlighted in pink. What the boxes represent is actually each shot in the training pack. The goal that we've now presented in these training packs is you'll be given a score based on your attempt. It'll be a percentage score, and that score will tell you how close to a pro player, to that example of a pro player doing the shot, am I in my attempt. And you'll get graded whether it's 75%, similarity, 80%, 85. The goal is to get 80 or above. And if you get 80 or above, you've passed that shot. That box right there will turn green, and then you'll automatically move on to the next shot. You can always use the arrow keys. So if I press left or right, I can actually jump around, and those sort of 3D boxes that are visualized on the screen are actually navigating to the next shot for me. But the first shot in the pack is this left-hand wall shot. The ball is going to roll up the wall. And what are you seeing with this flashing white line that runs up the wall? That is showing you the exact path that the pro takes when they take their shot. And in a past demo, we showed off this pro demo functionality. If you don't remember, in order to play that, and it's right up at the top of the screen, you'll see pro demo controls. All you need to do is hit the P key on the keyboard. That's going to show you that pro demo. There goes the pro. That's how they do it. Nice clean shot. I do a bit of hot dog in there. They do a little wave dash or something at the end. But you'll see that they follow that line exactly. That's exactly what that line is showing you. And then you're also going to see this green target on the screen. So if I go off ball cam, I can look over and I can see this green target that's actually painted right over the goal. And now if I go ahead, use my controller, make an attempt, I'm going to try to follow that line, and I'm going to try to hit that target. And you'll see that I'll be given a score based on how well I do. Okay, that was a decent shot, but as you can see, there was no goal scored, and that's because there is a shot timer, just like there is in many training packs. The ball hit the ground before it went in, and of course the goal here, the objective, is to get the ball cleanly into the goal without hitting the ground. Let's try it again. Wow, okay. Now comes the embarrassing portion where people can watch me attempt. No, so that was way off the target. So what's happening here is, first, when I'm driving up the wall, I'm being graded on how well I'm following the pro's path. And you'll see this actually pink line that's outlined on the screen here next to it. You'll see that I actually swung fairly wide out to the left. So there's a good visual indicator that I need to kind of tighten my approach a bit, take that turn a bit tighter, and then take a more sharp angle towards the ball. You see my turn is a bit wide out to the left side. After I make contact with the ball, that's not going to make it there again. The ball, the path of the ball is actually now being graded based on how close its path is to the pro demo. So first, up until I touch, I'm getting graded on my car path. After I make contact, I'm getting graded on the ball path. Now, let's see if I can actually get one in here. So close. Oh, too high. Oh boy. I'm gonna make a few attempts here. Don't judge. Does not go in. Does not go in. Let's see, maybe this is my stronger side. Yeah, I think that goes in. Oh. But what we find is that this element that's added onto the training packs, okay. Finally, we had a completed attempt. It was not a success. It was a 73%, so pretty close. I think the biggest difference that you saw was that the path of the ball was a little bit off the target of the left side. Let's try one more. No, that's not going to do it. I want to see if I can get a success so I can show you what the navigation looks like once you do clear a shot. That should go in. There we go. There's a 95%. Thank you for bearing with me. Now you'll see that this box turns green. That's one shot complete. I got a 95. I'm more than welcome to jump back and try that shot again, but I've already passed that shot by getting an 80% or above. And in order to clear the training pack and get a completion, the goal is to get 80% or above on every shot. So again, for this shot, let's see what the pro does. This is a more long distance shot, lower approach. Bang, right on the target. So these long distance shots are tricky because, of course, there's more time when the ball is hanging in the air where the ball trajectory will be getting judged against the pro example. There you go. Oh, wow, 99%. Okay, nailed it. I think the right wall is my stronger side, but this should give you an example of what we're doing here. And what we find is it gives you this gamification element where you kind of get hooked on the feeling of like, I gotta try it one more time, because even if you get your score and it was 78%, you're just 2% off. It kind of gives you that hook of wanting to try again and wanting to grind that shot. And it's actually, in our opinion, it makes it a lot more fun, a lot more gamified. Which is something that's really important in Rocket League because, of course, mastering mechanic really comes down to getting in the reps and building that muscle memory of a certain mechanic. So one other element that you can do in these training packs is if you feel comfortable with what you're trying to do and you don't feel you need the visual aids, if you hit L, and again, there's more controls that are on the top left of this screen. It says turn off the lines on screen by pressing L. So you can turn off those guidelines and then try the shot by yourself. More of a freestyle. Oh boy. There you go. It was a terrible attempt. But if you're kind of ready to take the training wheels off, per se, you can do that. You can get rid of the visual indicator. I quite like the visual indicator because it does, in terms of replicating the pro shot, it does really tell you what to aim for, but I think it's a great exercise, especially if you get a passing grade. Maybe go back and try to replicate it with the lines off, and then that's really going to, build up that muscle memory of, okay, what angle do I need to be taking in a situation like this? So that is a quick overview of the new training packs. Does anybody have any questions about what they've seen so far? I can maybe show you one other one, and we can go through a more basic defense one. Any questions so far? Sounds like there's no questions. I got none. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to hear thoughts about what people think if this is an improvement on a regular Rocket League training pack. Do you have any ideas that spring to mind about anything we could do differently? If you've tried these, how do you find them? Please let us know. We're always happy to chat, of course, with any users that have had the time to go in and give the features a try. If not, hopefully this demo is enough inspiration to go try it out yourself. But yeah, let's quickly show off a defensive pack. If I go to kickoffs and defense, and I go to backboard clears. Going to ask about if the lines and boxes could be toggled off. Yeah, you can toggle off the lines. Loving this, to be honest. I need to share with a couple of my buddies who want to hit the packs more. Yeah, definitely. I find it's funny. I was talking with Scott, who is the developer who really was, heavily involved in building these. And he and I had gone back into our previous version
to clear the ball
of
off
training packs.
Just like the pro does in the pro demo, aiming to match their technique as closely as possible and score at least 80% similarity on each shot. Press P to watch the pro example. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.
One thing I forgot to mention, of course, is that you can always hit comma through any of these training packs. You can chat with Mansell. You can ask questions. Yeah, let's try this one. Oh, 100% right off the bat. So, again, hit P on the keyboard, and you can see the goal of this pack is just to get really powerful clears off the wall. And, of course, it is a defensive pack. So this one is actually tough because not only are you being judged on the car path, remember, you're also being judged on the ball path. So it's not kind of quite satisfactory enough to just get the ball anywhere off the net. You're actually trying to replicate what the pro did. And it's actually, when anybody who's a higher level player will know, clearing a ball off the backboard, it really matters where you clear it, not just if you clear it. And so ball placement like this and being really accurate with it, it's a great test. Now, this is actually a very challenging one. You really got to launch it long distance. No, I didn't even come close. Yeah, okay, so I might be wrong in that case that the ball path, it might be strictly car path in this one. I think it is actually only judging up until you make first contact. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was wrong about that. To go back to what I was saying, yeah, we were going back and trying out a previous version where it's these training packs without all of these gamification elements, and we were kind of like, wow, it really feels lacking. We're really happy with the amount of like hook that this gives these lessons, because you want something that's going to keep you, the desire to grind these will fade very quickly if you're kind of left to your own devices, I find, at least personally, and I know I've heard other people make similar comments. So yeah, we find that this sort of gives you that hook, that sort of desire. There's been a lot of moments when everyone's been like, yelling because they just got 79% on a shot. They just missed the 80, but they almost thought the shot was going to go in. Yeah. You can ask Mansell anything. I've tried to ask all kinds of things, probably no surprise as the product manager. I've tried to break it. He's remarkably focused on turning the conversation back to Rocket League. And yeah, as a reminder, anybody who wasn't here for our last demonstration, we showed off this transition menu. This is a new feature, but once you finish any lesson, you no longer have to exit Rocket League in order to jump into a new training. So you'll have this new menu that pops up. You see the next recommended training after completing this one is back wall saves. If I hit enter, it takes about a couple of seconds, and then we jump right into back wall saves.
Your goal is to make each back wall save as closely as possible to the pro example,
There you go.
aiming for a similarity score of at least 80% on each shot. You can press P to watch how a pro does it. Good luck, and let me know if you have any other questions.
Okay, so everyone's probably sick of me watching me struggle my way through some of these packs. Quick summary. Every training pack that we offer has this new format. Every shot you'll be graded on. The goal is to get a grade of 80% or higher. Anytime you hit the P key, that's when you can watch the pro demo. And of course, that's even more incentivized to do now, because that's the reference example that you're trying to follow. So that's sort of the reference that you're being graded against. So play the pro demo, go back, use the arrow keys to navigate the shots. You can try whatever shot you want, whenever you want. But of course, the goal here is to clear all the shots, 80% or higher. So yeah, I'll ask Mansell what he had for breakfast this morning. Hey, Mansell, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I'm just here to coach you in Rocket League, but let's focus on improving your back wall saves. Let me know how your last attempt went.
So yeah, Mansell's strictly business. I'll say that. He wants to talk about Rocket League and only Rocket League. Yeah, focus for sure. He eats training packs for breakfast is what he eats, I think. Great. So again, I'll open the floor to any questions or comments if anybody has it. If not, and everybody's keen to for another minute, I'll give you a quick sneak peek at something that we're working on that's sort of going to change the look and feel of the app a little bit. If you want to talk, buddy, while training, well, that is Mansell for sure. I mean, Mansell's, as long as you have a mic plugged in and you hit the comma key and anyone, so Mansell chat is available in our AI mechanic lessons, any of the mini games, or any of these training packs that I just showed off. And that means you can chat with him anytime, just only about Rocket League. He doesn't want to veer off course very much. So yeah, I could see if you wanted to talk politics or something, I don't think you're going to get much out of him. That's probably for the best. So I showed you the training path, which is kind of just those big circles. Those are the nodes, and that's the path you follow. We've been hard at work redesigning this and giving it a lot more visual polish. Again, this is a work in progress version that you're going to see. going to give you a little sneak peek at a new version of this. Once I can find it, there it is. Load it up. Okay, question from Groot. I just don't hear it. Where do you guys get the pro demo from? Yeah, so no, that's a great question. The pro demo is basically, we worked with a series of coaches we have a system in place by which a coach or a pro player, a high level player can go in and it's technically not a video recording. It's essentially a telemetry data recording. So they run a session where they actually play out the training pack and they'll do the shots. They can do as many attempts as they want, but they've run a custom launch command that we give to them. So this is basically an internal process that we do while we build these lessons. Every bit of car data that they do and ball data, of course, is actually being recorded. Yeah, it is. It's quite cool. It's very, it's very scientific. So yeah, they'll go in, they'll run telemetry recording, and then they have a system by which they can flag, almost like you would if you were like recording video. You can flag like what your best take was, and they can do this multiple times if they want. Then they go into a visualizer in a dashboard and can actually identify those shots as, yes, that's the shot attempt that I wanted. I think that's like the cleanest attempt. That's my favorite one. That'll be the reference example. And then they can actually trim the start and end points of that video clip. And it basically exports in a form that we then load into these customized training packs. As a quick FYI, we are in the process of really scaling up our production of these. We want to like build a lot more training packs. We want to work with more coaches. We want to expand our library of content really quickly. So that's coming soon. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more training packs and just a whole lot more content coming to the app. And that's going to lead to bigger and better skill trees, more diverse, training recommendations that we can make. We've always had a bit of a limit on our content right now that, yeah, I can get better. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I feel the same. I'm excited to like have a lot more content to play with because yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, there's a lot both on the beginner end and the advanced end and everywhere in between. There's a lot more sort of granular type of challenges that we can create once we get a system in place, which we're building right now, that'll really ramp up our output of these training packs. So, look forward to that. I'm stoked. It's going to be exciting. We can do a lot of cool stuff with that. We can sort of build you a custom training path and, pick and choose a customized skill tree to you based on your needs. All of that we can start doing once we have that sort of bigger volume of content to pull from. It doesn't really make sense to do that when you have a couple of dozen, but once you have like a huge volume of content, we can start to play with it a whole lot. So, right, I have to share my screen again. We'll wrap this up in a minute here. So this is actually a test build of what will be to come to the public. This is not a public version yet, but I showed you the training paths in the previous version. I wish I could pull it up, but it was basically just some circles with a little bit of text inside, and that's what the training path looked like, and that's what laid out your skill tree type view. This new version is going to look a lot different. Here we go. So here's a quick look, and again, there's still some visual polish coming to this, but you can already see our in-house designer Mark has been working hard on this, creating all these awesome customized icons. Every node on the skill tree is going to show, if it's a game, it's going to show your stars right there. It's got this icon that sort of indicates what it is. The Curve Dash training, it's got this little video player, a little blurb of text. Looking amazing. Yeah, I love this. I'm really excited about this. I'm glad you're stoked on it too. So yeah, a little sneak peek of what's to come. We're sort of, this is giving you the more, gamified view of what you're seeing here. We want to put a lot of visual polish as well as, of course, making, the UI, the UX of everything a lot smoother. That's our main focus, of course, is solving navigational problems for people, making everything clear, laying it out well. But let's be honest, it's also cool to have everything look really slick and polished. And I think this kind of does both, honestly. It improves the navigation of everything, and it makes everything look super cool with these sort of glowing nodes. You can see what's locked off. You can see what's to come. I think not only will it add this nice layer of visual polish, I think it makes you want to stick around in these skill trees even more, and makes you want to have that sort of dopamine hit of seeing it turn green and seeing it checked off. Um, that's the only thing I can think we're going to show you right now. I will say, maybe next time I go live, I'll show you another sneak peek, and that's a whole refresh that's sort of equally, visually slick to this home screen. No, DK, sorry, that's for next time. You got to join us at our next live. We'll try to go live again real soon, but we're still just tweaking a few things. But this home screen has always been kind of it's a very early design that's just sort of stuck around for a long time. And not only, just like I said, not only are we going to make it look a lot more polished, we're also going to make some really cool features in here. We're going to have a progress tracker that appears. It's going to be kind of a little hub page that'll give you a quick launch button to your next training. Yeah, sorry, DK. Yeah, right now, just going to give you that sneak peek at the training paths. But yeah, we're really excited by how this is going to look and feel when we get it out. I think you can expect it within the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping for next week. We will see. If not next week, almost for sure the week after that. It's we're just sort of making sure that obviously everything works as intended. That's obviously very high priority. And, we get all the little, we get the text right. We get the buttons acting as they should. Can't wait to join the next live. Yes, please do. We appreciate everyone's time. Thank you for joining us. Before I go, does anybody have questions, comments they want to share? Thank you for chatting. Always appreciated. I see a few names here from the trophy team, so I know some people have already heard me talk about this stuff more than enough. But yeah, I think if no one has any more questions or comments, we'll probably call it there. Training as you're watching. That's awesome, DK. Well, good luck with it. Yeah, hope it goes well. Hope it's fruitful. And yeah, stick with us. We're going to have even more training and better training coming soon. Thank you very much, Groot. Great to see you guys. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.